I don't have a short for you necessarily today,
Okay.
but yeah,
Okay.
it's every now and again you come across them, but it's not
Yeah.
really what I'm doing anymore.
All right. Well, where are you going long? What's your stock pick for today?
Okay, so I'm going offshore with my stock pick. Yeah, most viewers probably haven't heard of it. It's called CoStar Group. And the way that I kind of came across it earlier in the week is we're looking at obviously the thesis that interest rates are going to fall in the US. That generally is good for the property sector, and we up until now have been slightly underweight property in our global portfolio. So we're looking for an access point to property. So I was kind of running all our screeners. We screen for a whole lot of different things. We've got a quantitative approach to this, and CoStar Group came out, which is actually very interesting. So it's not actually a property company. It's essentially a data vendor around property companies, and it's represented. It's got a data set that they've built over the last 35 years in the US, almost exclusively US focused. But it's everything from aerial footage. They've got thousands of analysts that work for them, essentially trying to value and understand exactly what specifically in the commercial real estate sector, but in all sorts of in residential as well. And they have this huge data set and these tools that allow property brokers to value them. They are the premium tool in the US. So in South Africa, you can imagine it as Lightstone on steroids. So if
Yeah.
you're looking at buying a property in the US, or you're a US property broker, you cannot actually operate your business without them. Now, there are obviously a lot of concerns around commercial real estate in the US at the moment. But if you look at, you can kind of think of it, traders will know, as like a Bloomberg or a Refinitiv terminal or a Morningstar terminal for the property market. That's what they're giving
Okay.
you. At the same time, they've also recently acquired homes.com. And if you can think about what they're doing, they're going to take it and they're taking all of this data set that they have around property, and they now have a front end that can sell directly to the retail market and essentially act as an online estate agent. They're also investing heavily in AI. So what will happen is, if you can really look down the line, and they're not saying this,
Yeah.
but you can kind of see the direction the company is going in. If you can actually displace the estate agent totally from the process, and a retail
Wow.
person that's either renting or buying a flat can come directly onto homes.com. You can get all the information curated for you. You can put in your wants and
Wow.
needs, and you can have an AI essentially manage the entire process for you. That's where I think this company will be in 10 years. It's not particularly expensive because it kind of gets lumped in the real estate sector. And real estate has obviously been under a lot of pressure. But looking at it, it's got decent coverage overseas. It's a strong buy, and I think worth adding to a portfolio.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and for your insights and analysis there, Gary. Really, really appreciate it. Do have a good weekend. That was Rand Swiss's Gary Booysen.